Dylan with Mesa Fitness here. This is episode 3 of the Community GymTalk series. Now today I am talking to Parker Jelouchan from Mesa Fitness Clifton. Parker, I apologize if I butchered your last name. I think I'm close, but I'm sorry if I didn't get it. Now Parker is a trainer from Clifton. He's been a member of the team for a couple of years now, and he is a very avid power lifter. I really wanted to dive deep into his powerlifting journey, what his goals are now, how he got into it, and a little bit of his background. Parker's a pretty goofy dude. If you've been in Mesa Fitness Clifton and you've seen him, you will understand that he is a very out there personality. He's a lot of fun, and this talk really reflects that. So check in with this one. This was a lot of fun for me.
Cool. So first off, go ahead and just introduce yourself. Give us a little bit of your background, where you grew up, how you got into training, that sort of thing.
All right. What's up, guys? I'm Parker, first trainer over here at Mesa Fitness Clifton. I've been a trainer here for actually 2 days ago was 2 years since I've been working here, and I absolutely love it. Thank you. Got a little background about me is I've always grew up in this area. I was adopted in Fort Collins, but I don't count that part of my life because I don't remember it. Then about when I was like 3 or 4, I lived in Fruita, Colorado, so not too far from Grand Junction. And I went to Fruita High School, graduated 2016. I've always been a really active kid. I always tried to pick up some type of sport, played football, played basketball. But I was really into as a kid was skateboarding. I did that for quite some time. And then I also got into parkour for a little bit. So I like to do all the flips and stuff like that. My joints aren't going to thank me later in life, but that's okay. I had fun doing it. So and then I was a wrestler, and then I realized I want to, let's see, I think I lost my video real quick. There we go. I was a wrestler, and then I decided I need to stop doing that. And I actually got introduced to rugby. And honestly, never thought about. I only played rugby because I'm like, dude, I'm gonna get so many girls. Like, this is gonna be awesome. And then I had to fall in love with the sport, the camaraderie, and everything like that. I still do it with both COVID kind of affected it, but I've tried to coach the high school kids, and I've tried to play for the men's league when there's a chance to do so. And then I've always been I've been lifting for like 6-7 years, but not consistently lifting except for the last like 4 years. I originally started lifting weights because as a kid, I was bullied. I was bullied a lot, and I was sick and tired of it. And honestly, my goal was to get bigger than the bullies. And so if I had to, I could beat them up. And also, I also wanted to look good for the girls because I thought you could get more girls. So the girls and the bullies is what made me start lifting in general. And I started getting into some sort of, I'll be honest, when I first started, before I was a trainer, I was a bro lifter. So like pyramid sets, trying to go heavy almost every other week. And in reality, that was not efficient. The fact that I learned the science of training, it's gone a whole different direction with working out. I was going to CMU to play rugby. I went for a semester, realized this wasn't for me. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I stopped going to school, and my buddy actually asked me to go to the gym with him. He's like, hey, because he knew I worked out. He's like, I just need you to teach me. So all right, come with me, work out with me. I'll teach you a few things. And after a while, he started making some great progress. I wasn't really training him. He was just working out with me. I helped him with his form. We really worked on nutrition together, even though we had no idea what we were doing at the time. And my mom said, hey, you sound like you really enjoy this, because I tell her about it. And she says, have you ever thought about becoming a personal trainer? I said, that's pretty cool. So I got started with NASM. I've been doing that. Been certified trainer for about 2-3 years now. And I love it because you can always continue your education in here. I learned so much more about fitness than what I thought I did just from watching YouTube. And I absolutely love it. You can always learn. That's what I love about it. It's I've got my senior fitness specialist. I'm in the works with my mental toughness certification. I'm a group trainer specialist, working on my nutrition certification. I'm waiting for COVID to kind of be over so I can become a certified USA powerlifting coach. And I just got 10 books, all related to strength training and mobility. And hopefully towards the end of this year, I'll be getting my corrective exercise specialist in the works. So that's a little bit of background on me. Fitness has always been a huge part of my life, but just learning more and more and being able to provide knowledge to other people and watch them succeed is what I really love about this job. Is not just the fitness aspect of it, but the connections you make, the what you learn, and more than anything, watching people succeed. So watching someone like, for example, one of my ladies I just had my last session, she came into me weighing, I believe she was 155, 160, and she's 70 years old. And we stepped on the scale today. She was 135. So
that's
like
awesome.
she's done that in about 4 months. And so age doesn't mean anything. I have 60-year-olds who deadlift 150 pounds and do it for reps. So I absolutely love this job because you never know someone's true potential until you put it to the test.
That's awesome. That's very cool. Now I want to, this is usually one of the last questions that I ask, but you've kind of touched on it. There's obviously a very vast way that you can continue your education in the training world. There's, hundreds of certifications and classes and, people that you can learn from. So one of the questions that I usually like asking is, what are you learning now? What are you working on now? What topics? Yeah.
Right now I'm currently reading a book by Lane Norton, and I forgot his name. His name's Jeff Barker. They're one of the PhD nutrition scientists. So I'm currently reading this book called Fat Loss Forever. And it kind of goes into the gist of like how to help someone lose weight, why diet fads aren't working, and how you can lose the weight and you can keep it off, because it's kind of like it's energy balance. So it's calories in, calories out. So obviously if you eat less than what you output, you're going to lose weight, and vice versa. If you eat more than what your output is, you're going to gain weight. But I know a lot of like my personal experience, like, yes, that works, but there is factors like someone can have some wrong with their they can be hyperthyroid or have hypothyroidism and stuff like that, and hormones come into effect with it. But this book's going to really kind of dive deep into that. And I'm also learning the bench press manual by Westside Barbell, because honestly, I need any tips I need my bench, because my bench sucks and I want to improve it. So I'm currently doing that, and I'm starting nutrition certification. That's just hard because for me, like if I have a book in my hand, I can read it and I'm pretty good, because I have ADHD, so I can't look at a computer screen or I get distracted. So like it's when I have an actual book, it's a lot easier to retain the information I read. But yeah, so right now I'm reading that book, and then I'm going to be moving on to the Book of Methods by Westside Barbell.
I like it. Constantly learning. That's one of the coolest things that I've enjoyed about getting to know a lot of the trainers, is that there's so many of you that just continuously learn, and kind of dive into new subjects. You mentioned you're getting into the nutrition stuff, and I know that's a huge portion of the fitness world, and
oh yeah,
each individual's fitness journey is the nutritional side, because you can work yourself to death in the gym, but if you're not setting yourself up correctly nutritionally, it's almost a waste.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like I like to say is if you work your butt off in the gym and you go eat Taco Bell right after, you're basically taking 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
I like that analogy. That actually leads me to another question. Now, I do want to talk about your powerlifting a little bit, and we'll talk about that in a second. Talking, kind of bouncing off the nutrition side, I know you've got some pretty big weight gain goals. What does your diet look like right now?
So what my diet looks like, you actually reminded me, I need to take my creatine. But that's what my diet right now is. It's a high protein diet. So right now, I currently I track calories for a little bit but once I get set on like an eating schedule, I eat the same thing every single day. Yeah, here and there I'll throw an extra protein bar or something like that in there. But for right now, I was at 195 a couple months ago. I just had trouble eating, was going through some stuff, but I lost all this weight, and I'm like, dude, I've never been under 200 pounds for last 2 years. So I kind of stepped up my game of eating a little bit, and started consuming a lot more calories. I'm shooting for about 200 grams of protein a day or more, and then about 70 grams of fat. And I eat about 9 times a day, try and split it up. Sometimes it's less, but that's because I have to combine the meals based off how busy I am. And I also take, I believe I take 2 servings of creatine, 5 milligrams a day. And right now, I went from 195 to now I'm sitting about 210 with about 2 months in. And then the person who helps me with my nutrition is a good friend of mine. And she just kind of helps me develop things I should eat, because I know what I need to eat. But if I have someone tell me hey, eat this, this, and this, I'm gonna abide by it way better. That's why having a coach is so well, because if someone tells me to do something, I'm gonna do it. And basically, we're kind of reamping the nutrition side of it, with me being about 2 to 3 months out for competition. And I'm sitting at 210 right now, and I like to sit at this weight. And I compete at 204. So once it gets close to competition, I'll just probably put myself at about like 500 caloric deficit, just so I can get down that weight and then sit at about 204 come competition. So I'm not stressing too much about my weight, but because I typically have the problem of cutting too much weight and being like 194, 195, like for competition, but because I get so nervous about making weight. But I just need to be able to sit at like 203, 202, so I can keep that extra 4 to 5 pounds, because that could probably help me put another 10 pounds on one of my lifts.
Awesome. Now, you've kind of talked about meets a little bit. Let's get into the powerlifting side. How did you get into that?
So when I first started here, I was just lifting, right? And one day I realized, I was like, man, I'm like one day I was trying power cleans in the NLP room, and honestly, I think like, fuck, you didn't know how to do that. I'm like, you're just doing that just to experiment. And then one day Paul Manzella came up and he says, he came up to me and said, hey, when are you going to compete? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, when are you going to compete in powerlifting? Because he saw how good my squat was. And I was like, I don't know. Started looking at it a little more, and then I got into it. And then I was like, he's going to write me out this program, get me started on something, and that's going to be fun. So I was like, might as well. I'm like, let's just do it. So I signed up from first meet. And Paul Menzel is the one who like pushed me to do it. And then I ended up becoming in love with the sport, because I'm like, this is fun. Like, it's something like I enjoy. It's something where you can, it's where you can go into it and you can do your own thing. It's like you training, your success is based off your dedication, how much work you put into it. So that's what I really liked about it.
I like that. What are your current goals right now for your lifting? And on top of that, when is your next meet?
It's supposed to be in March, my next meet, but they haven't posted it yet because he's waiting for the restrictions. But if not, it's going to be in July. My current goals is I want to put at least like it'd be cool to put a 585 squat, break the state record in open men's category, which is 551 squat, break my current record, which is the junior for 534 squats. So break those two records, and then break the open or the juniors 93 kilo deadlift record, which is 627. So I'll break those three. And then I want to qualify for nationals as well. And I need to put 161 pounds on my total. And right now, weight's moving super smooth. Like, I hit 455 for a set of 3, and I felt like I could have done at least 8 to 9 of those. And so it's going really well with everything like that.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
And now, for somebody who might be watching who's just getting started with powerlifting, what are a couple of tips that you would give them in their early part of their journey?
Mobility. Focus on mobility, okay? Because you don't want to be a tight potato like me. Like, literally, it's caught up to me. I didn't do mobility as good as I should have, and my back's tight. My hips are tight. Everything is tight. But, we loosen it up. Just focusing on mobility, nutrition-wise, like your progress is going to shoot through the roof if you eat right. If you eat high protein, nutritional dense foods, you're going to perform better in training. Also get a lot of sleep. Okay. That goes a long way. That decreases your risk of injury and overtraining. Make sure you get 7 hours of sleep, and then also work on technique. Like, yes, you might want to hey, let's go a little heavier. But if you feel like your technique's breaking, take down 10% of the weight and go off of that. And if you're following a program, stick to the program. Don't try and go heavier. Literally, because I did that once, and I went from conventional to sumo, and obviously we're activating different muscles in the sumo position, and I tried to go heavier than I'll go heavier than what my program says, and I ended up getting injury in my hip. So follow your program, mobility, get enough sleep, get proper nutrition, drink a lot of water, and more than anything, have fun with it. Don't stress too much. I mean, you're going to have bad training days. You're going to have good training days. You're going to have bad days of eating, good days of eating. The fact is that you can keep the consistency as what's going to relate to success, because consistency over perfection is what I always say, because one bad day is not going to relay a whole month worth of progress. If you work your butt off for 25 out of 30 days, and those 5 days you kind of had a hiccup, it's better than you having one bad day and just giving up in general.
I like that. That's a really good mindset. And you kind of answered my next question. What's the one thing that you wish you would have known getting started?
Like in the powerlifting?
Yeah.
Mine just, yeah, you're going to compete with a lot of people. You're going to see a lot of people push a lot more weight, but a lot of it comes in the genetics, and genetics has a good role into it, but also hard work. I wish I would have known that, like, you're going to get there. Like, you're going to watch the progress. I wish I would have known, follow the program. So because of injuries. And one of the things, just like, I wish I would have knew more how much little things come into play. Like, I didn't realize, like, your foot positioning, like, it can really affect your whole entire squat. The type of shoes you wear can affect your squat or affect any type of movement. And yeah, just working on a little technique issues, like literally by just bringing your elbows in a little bit can help improve your squat substantially. Bracing, all that jazz, and core. I really slacked on core, but if you hit core 3-4 times a week, you're going to watch it relate into your lifts, because that if you have a stronger core, you're going to be able to brace better, and you're going to be able to move a lot more weight with it.
That makes a lot of sense. We posted something about a month ago, probably, about how the core is really the key and kind of a link between, the upper and the lower body. So it really has a big effect, especially on some of those bigger lifts.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So next question. What's one thing that you want to improve on? Now let's stay in the powerlifting area. What's one thing that you really want to improve on?
I want to improve on my bench, my arch, like, because it's all thoracic mobility, because my back's super tight. If I worked on my thoracic mobility, I'd probably be able to get a lot better arch, and you're going to be able to generate a lot more power through that. That's my biggest thing this New Year's, working on mobility. That's one of my New Year's resolutions, and I think it's going to really play over good in my deadlift, or not my deadlift, my bench, and because that's what's really holding me back. Is like my squat and deadlift, they're at a competing level. Like I can compete at almost at a national level with that, but my bench is like, it's not even close. Like, I need to get my bench to at least 350, 360 to be somewhat competitive. And I'm certainly sitting at 286, but I'm dealing with a shoulder injury that I'm hopefully going to get PT for here soon, so I can start benching again.
Good deal. Yeah, gotta cover the injury first. That's always the biggest pain in the butt.
Exactly. Never push through the pain. Listen to the body. If you feel something's off, I'm like, it's better than you taking that set or taking the break from that lift. So if you have like 3 more sets left, but you're feeling something act up, it's better for you to either lower the weight and see if it reoccurs, or just totally just trash it and say, all right, let's move on and give it a rest. Because if you push through that pain, then that's when bigger injuries happen.
Yeah, I can attest to that one. I learned that lesson the hard way about 3 years ago now. Pushed through the pain playing basketball and ended up tearing my ACL in my right leg.
Yeah, no, that's not good.
Yeah, so definitely listen to the body. I had a small tweak, and I was like, what, I'm fine. I've had small things like this before, and then that small thing turned into a pretty big thing. And had surgery and went through 6-9 months of rehab, and then was back at it. But yeah, the big injuries are not fun.
Not at all.
What's up, guys? Sorry for the interruption. Just wanted to throw this in here in the middle just to change things up a little bit. If you have a question for this particular trainer that I'm talking to, or one of our other trainers, feel free to throw that question in the comments below, or DM us with your question. We'll connect you directly with that trainer if you have one specific for this trainer, and they'll get you the answers that you need. Okay? Enjoy the rest of the video.
All right, so you kind of alluded to one of your resolutions. To help anybody who might be watching, what are a couple of things that people can do to continue with their resolutions after this first part of the year?
First of all, you're like, one thing too is just, like I said, the consistency over perfection, whether that's weight loss, you want to eat better, you want to get in the gym more. If you have one bad week, don't let that affect you. Like, oh, I'm just going to give up. It's like, well, there's 52 weeks in a year. You have one bad week, don't let that affect the rest of the 51 weeks of the year. That's my big thing, is you're going to have relapses. It's life. Like, you can't control what life throws at you sometimes, but you can, the way you react to it's what defines you as a person. So like, you can have some family emergency, anything like that, or work related, or something comes up, your car breaks down, whatever it is. Don't let that define how the rest of your week's going to go, or how the rest of your life's or year's going to go. obviously take the time to take care of that issue and then jump right back into it and get that consistency back. It's all dedication, discipline. Like I hear a lot of people, like it sounds kind of mean, but a lot of people give me a lot of excuses, like, oh, I don't have time because of work. Or I'm like, oh, are you like, how many hours a week do you work? They're like 40 hours a week. I'm like, well, 160 hours a week minus 40, 128. Let's take about 56 of that. You get 8 hours of sleep on average. Boom, you're still at 70 hours a week. Dedicate 5 hours of that. 76 minus 5, 71. You still have 71 hours to do whatever you want for the rest of your week. But you dedicate 5 hours to the gym to better yourself in your fitness career or fitness journey. So it's a lot of it's like you got to overcome the excuses. They happen all the time, but we get through them. That's the one thing is overcoming those excuses and kind of like mindset. Like for me, for example, is like there'll be times where it's 11 o'clock or 10:30 at night, and I'm like, okay, I have to eat the last meal. I'm like, I don't want to, but I'm like, I'm full, or I'm not my protein goal. I have to get to bed. But I'm like, we're going to sit here and we're going to make the meal. And even if we have to take 30 minutes to eat this meal, we're going to eat it because we know what it's going to do for our body. So it's kind of like getting over those excuses. Now, if you're like, oh, I can't go work out because I tore my ACL, I'm like, yeah, it's a good excuse, But I see people in here with with a boot on and they still come to the gym. It's like, just because you have one injury doesn't mean you can't do something else with it.
That's right. I like that. I think getting over excuses is definitely the biggest one. And honestly, I think that should be everybody's resolution, is to kind of get past the resolution or get past the excuses. Because we all do it, but more often than not, we're creating those excuses based around something that we don't really want to do. So,
exactly.
You create that one, you have to find why you want to do it and really determine, is it something that I really want to do? And if that's related to your fitness goals, then you really have to determine, is this what I want? Once you find that out, then you can really start eliminating the excuses of time, or I don't have money for a membership, or I've got to work, or I don't have time to go to the grocery store. You can really eliminate those pretty quickly once you know what you're doing it for and why you're doing it.
Right, and that's why you always have a plan too. Like when I go to the grocery store, I know exactly. Like I have a routine, like legit. Like I go through the same aisles every time, and so I don't need to do that. But if I have something new, I write down what I need, and then I know I'm like, okay, boom, boom, go get it. If I'm going to the gym, I have a routine. I know exactly what I do. I spend about 5 minutes. Okay, what am I? Usually, like if I'm going to work, and I'm like, okay, I'm lifting at 12 o'clock today. What do I got? I got 455 for a set of 3. Then I have a back down set of 4 sets of 6 at 405. I'm like, okay, now I'm mentally preparing for that. So when I go to the squat rack, I'm like, all right, I know what I need to do. Same with like your workouts. Spend 5 minutes on the treadmill, get a mental preparation. Say, okay, I'm going to go and do these exercises here. Then I'm going to go do these isolation moves on the machines and stuff like that. Having a plan is really going to help you rather than just winging it. Because if you wing it, some days you feel like you didn't do enough, or maybe you're like, I don't have the motivation to do so. But if you have something that says, hey, you're going to hit this exercise for 3 sets of 8 to 10, you can hit that exercise 3 sets of 8 to 10. You're not going to be like, okay, I'm going to hit this exercise for 3 sets. I'll shoot for 12, get to it, 9. I'm like, I'll stop. Because if you tell yourself you're going to get to 9, you're going to get to 9. It's just a mental thing too. I realized that as being a coach it's a lot of mental as well. Like I've had someone go and try and pull 475 off the floor. They couldn't get it. And I'm like, okay, what's up? And then we had a little bit of smelling salts, and we did that, and they did the smelling salts. It cleared their head. Then they pulled 470 like it was nothing. It's like, it's all a mental thing too that comes with the gym. And it's kind of getting out of that mental barrier when it comes to those exercises.
Yeah, I think that translates into a lot of different things. Your mental ability will stop you short before your body ever will. And that's one thing that I always am thinking of when I'm in the gym. If I'm putting weight on a bench, I'm like, I could do this, but I'm by myself. But at the same time, it's like, okay, your body isn't going to give out before your mind does. Like you're going to sell yourself short before your body is like, yeah, we literally can't do this anymore. So
right.
So being able to have that kind of mental fortitude to be able to push to that last set, and like you said, the preparation is a big part of that. So if you have the mindset going into that set that you're like, okay, I'm hitting this 305 for 8. You're going to hit that 8 because you have mentally prepared yourself for it. You're confident.
Exactly.
And into it with that mindset rather than being like, well, I guess I'm just going to get as many as I can, and you'll stop short of the 8 that you probably could have gotten, because you weren't mentally prepared for it.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, I want to move into a portion that I've done with this series that I call
the Fitness 4.
Now, what that is we ask the same questions to the guests of the show. Now, obviously, today we've got Parker. So same 4 questions that I've asked in the first few episodes here. Question number 1, what is your favorite song or songs to get you going in the gym?
When we talking what are we talking about? We talking about like PR songs? We talking about accessory work songs? We're talking about core songs? I got a playlist for everything. When it comes to like heavy lifting, Reincarnate by Motionless in White. I also like right now I've been listening to a lot of Five Finger Death Punch if I'm doing like my back down sets. But when it's heavy sets, Reequilibrium by I can't remember the name, but I got Reincarnate by Motionless in White. I also like A Candlelit Dinner for it's a long name by Asking Alexandria, like Not the American Average by Asking Alexandria. I also have Gears by Lamb of God. That's a good one. But when it comes to accessory work, I like a lot of Pop Smoke. I like a lot of like rap, A Boogie with a Hoodie, stuff like that. That's not going to get me super pumped up. Get me in the mood. Like when I'm doing accessory work, I want to feel the movements I'm doing, so I want to be in a good mood. But when it comes to like heavy lifting, I got to get like if you see me warm up squats, I might be a little extra, but like I stick my tongue out, like I go, oh, let's go, and like snap my belt on. I get pumped because if I'm going aggressively into that barbell, it's going to set the tone for that set. So I have to listen to something that gets me like going, it ignites something, gets a pre-workout kicking a little more. So I need that heavy guitar in the background, someone screaming in my ear. Oh, also a lot of Mice and Men for my PR songs as well.
I like it. Now, if you've seen Parker, anybody who does powerlifting in the gym, he really means it. You have to be in a certain kind of mindset to where you're like jacked to get into that PR mode. So having a good playlist really helps with it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I got like 4 or 5 playlists just for the gym.
Now, just out of my own curiosity, this isn't part of the Fitness 4, but are you allowed to listen to music at meets?
They have music playing, like it's usually like pump up music, like rap, dubstep, heavy metal. They have their own playlist playing. Okay. But I listen to music so I'll listen to music, and it's good when you have a coach or a handler, because what I'll do is I'll listen to music and I'll take it out and give it to them, or I'll have for my athletes, what I'll do is I'll sit there and they'll get pumped up, and the second they hear them, because I want them focusing on the weight that's on the platform, the second I hear their name, I take their headphones out for them so they can just walk up and get going, making it less effort for the athlete itself. I personally think it just goes a lot better. So if the less they do and the more I do, the more better they're going to perform.
I like that.
You can listen to your own music, like warm-ups and before you step on the platform, but not on the platform, because you have to listen to the commands and all that stuff.
Makes sense. All right. Question number 2 is part of the Fitness 4. What is your favorite lift and your least favorite lift? Now, these don't have to be major lifts, but favorite exercise, least favorite exercise.
Favorite exercise probably going to be squats. Just because I think I'm decent at them, so I like squats. Even though they kick my butt from time to time. And also if we're moving to accessory work, I personally like dumbbell incline a lot. I don't know why. Just something about it just gets me going. And I also like any bicep work as well, because I like to look at veins when I do it. Just like to look at the pump. Least favorite exercise, definitely gonna have to be skull crushers. I don't know why. I just cannot get those under control. It hurts my elbow, so I don't like those. I also least favorite exercise, I think everyone can agree with me with this, burpees. I'll do them. Yeah. Rarely. So if you're all my NLP members, if you're watching this, you're rarely going to see me do burpees, except I have a few people that have burpee free passes and also have pass to give me burpees at any given moment. So yeah, it's kind of like living day by day and on the edge, because you never know if that one person's going to look at me and I look at them wrong. Like, all right, give me those 10 burpees you owe me. So I could be with a client. I could be in the middle of my workout. I got to do it. I got 400 pounds on my back, and they say burpees I got to do with 405 pounds on my back.
Have you ever seen How I Met Your Mother?
I've seen a few episodes with that.
Have you ever seen I can't remember how far into the series it is, but Barney gets to a point where, God, it's been so long since I've watched the show, but Barney gets to a point where Marshall has 5 slaps that he can issue at any point.
Oh, I think I've seen those.
Yeah, so that's what made me think of that. Is your anytime burpees from your clients? That's what that made me think of and made me laugh.
Yeah, no, it's fun because I don't know. It's fun. It's kind of off subject. This job, I love it because all the people you meet, you're like, there's some people in here that I never would have thought I'd meet before, and like the connections you make, and like, because obviously they're a big part of my life, and they say I'm a big part of theirs, even though they're the ones who put in the hard work, and I'm the one who talks crap to them. They could be working their butt off. I'm like, come on, really? You're only doing 300 pounds on deadlift? 315 would have been cooler. Learned that personally from Paul Manzella, but.
I like it. Yeah, that's one of the coolest parts about being in the gym is there's so many people from so many different walks of life
right
in the door, and it really doesn't matter what capacity that you're in here, whether you're at the front desk or in management or the training department or part of our fitness consultant team. You meet a lot of people, especially at either one of these gyms. I mean, between the two gyms, we have 16 or 17,000 members now. I mean, somewhere around there. There's a lot of people that walk in our doors, and there's a lot of opportunities to connect with people. And obviously, we connect with every single person, but having that ability and being able to meet so many people is one of the coolest parts of this job.
Oh yeah, for sure. 100% agree with that.
All right, so question 3, we kind of touched on it already, but what are you learning about right now?
Just more of the nutrition side of it. Like, I personally, I know the basic science and weight loss and all that stuff. And actually, I'm gonna. There's a free course at NASM for anyone that's working on their certification or anything. And NASM has the guidelines of weight loss or the science behind weight loss for free course right now. So I'm gonna be jumping into that. I want to focus more on that. Like, I do a lot of strength training and stuff, and I know the basic science of nutrition and weight loss and everything, but I want to dive more into it because obviously the more I know, the better results I can provide for my clients, and that's what really strives me to regain my knowledge. Because if one of my clients hits a roadblock, I'm like, I don't even care if I have to spend an hour or two of my own time researching to look into it to find them the best results. Because as a trainer, you become like, I've learned many things. I've heard of ankylosing spondylitis from one of my clients. I was like, what the heck is that? She's like, well, it's very rare. It's basically arthritis in the lower back, and it basically the nerve ends, like basically shoots pain throughout your whole body. I had no idea. So we had to really play around with it. And I'm always trying to learn. My clients will bring something to me and I'm like, okay, I don't know. I'm not the trainer that's going to lie to you and say, oh yeah, this is how it was, or go by my way. If I'm not 100% sure on it, I'll say, hey, I do not know. I'm not 100% certain on this subject, but let me go research it and find out a little more information on it so I can provide you with it. Because in reality, I answer their question and they learn, then I learn as well, so I can provide that for someone else in the future that might come across that same issue. So, but to answer the question, I'm learning a lot more of the strength training aspects, like how to increase the bench press, also working a lot more on how to lose weight and keep it off, and the science behind that.
I like it. I like that. Kind of having that constant mode of learning is super beneficial for trainers, and I think you made a great point in that. Rather than just giving them an answer, it's okay to say, I don't have a lot of knowledge on this right now, but let me do some research, or we can do some research together and see what we can find. That way we can have a solution going forward, and then that gives you the opportunity to have that knowledge for somebody else down the road.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Cool. All right, last question of the Fitness 4 here. What was one positive thing that you got out of 2020?
Oh, one positive thing.
Mm-hmm. One positive thing. Now, obviously, a lot of people think that 2020 was just the most negative year, but we want to look at the positive. We want to learn from the positive things and the negative things, and and really grow from that here in 2021. So I've really been challenging people who I've spoke with so far. What was one thing that you learned or thought?
2020. So for the world, it was bad. But for me personally, it was a great year of growth. Like I ended up I've moving from tier 1 to tier 2 trainer, elite trainer. I'm very grateful for that. I learned a lot. I got certification as my senior fitness specialist. I got more knowledgeable in powerlifting. I broke a state record in powerlifting. I became the head powerlifting coach here because Paul Menzel got promoted to GM. So I took over his position as powerlifting coach. So I am taking more people to competitions. I got a motorcycle that is so cool, dude. I'm like, a lot of people hate me for getting it, but it's all right. Like, I love it. So I got that. I actually became a lot closer to people that a lot closer to friends and regaining friendships. Like over quarantine, I realized like, wow, you're taking a lot, like try putting attention towards people that to things that don't matter. And then I ended up throwing away that during quarantine, actually gained a lot of friendships, like people that became really close friends who I didn't think were going to be. But yeah, I gained a lot of knowledge over the last 2020 year and just came close to a lot of people, family, friends, and started investing more in myself and doing things that I want to do. So like I wanted a motorcycle, so I went and got a motorcycle. I'm actually picking up snowboarding here next month, which is 2021. But like doing things, I realized I need to do more things that I find enjoyable. My buddy Chandler, he convinced me to go fishing, and now I love fishing. That's like actually a really great hobby of mine. Like I'm still a rookie. I'm not saying I'm good at it. Like only caught trout like this big, waiting to catch a monster on the line, but I've just decided to do things that I find more enjoyable that aren't working out. And that's what helps keep me sane. Cause I realized I was stuck working out work. I was here Monday through Sunday, and it's like, you need that break. And I'd like spend one day, no gym, let's go fishing, go hang out with the boys, get a few casts out, catch some fish. And then, yeah, just a lot of like personal growth too, just with knowledge and feeling more confident in what I'm giving out to people, because just because I learned and have the studies and science to back it up and everything like that.
I like that.
And seeing the results too. Like I get so pumped for my clients. Like I don't tell them this. Here's the things. I don't tell them how proud I am of them because I don't want to get to their head. I say, hey, good job. But in reality, I'm like pumped for them. Like I literally stay up at night. Like I'll daydream. Like, all right, what are we going to do for like one of my examples? I'm going to use my client, Chelsea, that's coming in here soon. I'll really sit there at night and be like, all right, what are we going to do? Like to have Chelsea tomorrow, like how's she doing on her program? I'll look at it, like, all right, what are we going to do to progress her to the next level? How close is she ready to progressing? Is she need a little bit more time? Like what do we need to focus on? Like stuff like that. Like I just always am consistently thinking about where my clients can go and how I can help them be a better them.
That's awesome. That's a really good answer. I like that. Awesome. Well, guys, if you're interested in chatting with Parker or just getting in touch with him, or you like his story and you want to learn more about it, you can contact him either through our website or our app, or you can follow him on social media. Parker, what's your handle on social media?
Instagram is Parker_Jelouchan. Spell it out because no offense, no one knows how to spell it. JELOUCHAN 133. And also coming 2021, I'm going to be starting my own coaching page. Haven't thought of a name yet. Maybe Coach Parks, maybe Peace Move. I don't know. But that's going to include a lot more training, like stuff with fitness related. It's going to be client shout outs. It's going to be my own lifting as well, because I don't want to bombard my personal page with all my lifts, because sometimes I feel like I do. But it's going to be more of that kind of stuff, and just kind of the grow fitness, like more fitness related stuff rather than just personal stuff. So that's my handle, Parker_Jelouchan 133. Give me a follow on Instagram, and yeah, that'll be groovy.
Cool. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for chatting with me today. The plan is to have this out in the next probably week or so, probably towards the end of next week.
Groovy.
What's really cool is I actually get to talk to one of your clients here in a couple of days too. I'm chatting with Tori.
Tori, yeah, she has a story and a half. She's came a long ways, like from her when she first started to where she is now today, and all the barriers she's had to overcome. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited for that chat even more now.
Right on. Yeah, she had to fight a dragon. I'm just playing. No.
I'll ask her about that then.
Yeah. Say Parker said you have to fight a dragon. Yeah, ask her about that. She'll know.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks, buddy. Have a good one.
No problem. Later.